सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। शुकासारिखे पूर्णवैराग्यजाचे वसिष्ठापरिज्ञानयोगेश्वराचे कविवाल्मिका सारिखामान्य ऐसा नमस्कार माझा तया रामदासा गणाधीश जोईश सर्वा गुणांचा मुळारंभारंभतो निर्गुणाचा नमो शारदा मूळचत्वारवाचा गमो पंथ आनंत या राघवाचा। जय जय रघुवीर समर्थ। So Samarth Ramdas Swami here is narrating purpose of the 10 main avatars of Sri Mahavishnu. Dashavatara, as it is well known, why they happened. And here the basis of analysis is Bhagavan took avatara to help his devotees, to protect his devotees. That is the premise, and therefore all the avatars which will be explained from that angle. So we saw Matsya Avatara is to help Brahmaji, Kurma Avatara is to hold the earth, Dhara. Then Varaha Avatara is to protect the people, Rakshana Karane, Jana Rakshana Karane, and bring that earth back. Then we saw in the last session, Narasimha Avatara is of course to protect Prahlada. Prahlada, who was troubled, who was tortured by his own father. For protecting Prahlada, Bhagavan came in a very, very terrible form of Narasimha, half man, half lion. And in that form, he destroyed Hiranyakashipu and all his asuras, daityas, and also protected Prahlada. That's what we saw in Narasimha Avatara. Then Kripa Bhakita Jahala Vajrapani. Now, to help Vajrapani, that is Indra, he took Vamana Avatar. So Mahabali, who had taken over the heavens, to give that heaven back to Indra and to make sure that he does not complete the 100th Ashwamedha so that doesn't become Indra. He is going to become Indra anyways, but to help Indra, Bhagavan took form of Vamana Murti. And then Dvijakarane Bhargavu Chapapani. And then Parashurama Avatar, he took Dvijakarane for the sake of Brahmins. Now here Brahmin is not a caste. Brahmins are those people who dedicate their life for knowledge, either in study or in teaching. And they remain in that kind of, you can't call it as profession also, because it is not a profession for them. The focus is on knowledge. Such people are called as Brahmana. And that to protect those Brahmana against Kshatriyas who were doing adharma, Bhagavan took Amshavatara of Parshurama. Right? So that also we have seen. Then Sri Rama Avatar, here Samarth Ramdas Swami explains for what? Ahalye sati lage aranya panthe. To protect Ahalya. To protect Ahalya means to bless Ahalya and remove all her sins so that she can get her form back. And also Kudava Pudhe Deva Bandi Tayate. And to also release all the Devatas who were captured by Ravana. For their sake, Bhagavan took Sri Rama Avatar. Then we saw Taye Draupadi Karane Lagavege Tware Dhavato Sarva Sandu Nimage. Now Sri Krishna Avatar is for what? There are many reasons why the avatar happens, but here the focus is to protect Draupadi. We saw in Sri Krishna Avatara how he ran to help, leaving everything behind. That is what is important. Nupekshikada deva bhaktabhivane. That is the point, that Bhagavan never forsakes his devotees. And then Kali lage jala ase Bauddha Mauni. In Kali Yuga, he has become Buddha Mauni. This word is also very interesting, okay? Mauni. Mauni means the one who doesn't speak. Now sometimes, see, all the Munis are Mauni only. That's why they are called as Muni. But for Gautam Buddha, this word is very important because there are several occasions when his students went and asked him a very tricky question, in the sense where they wanted to take him, they wanted Gautam Buddha to take one side. For example, they went and asked, is God there or not there? Is there God or not? So in all such places, he kept quiet. He kept mauna. Why? See, because if he says no, that will be against the truth. If he says yes, there is a possibility that those people will again follow the same path of mere idol worship without understanding the logic from which Gautam Buddha was trying to take them away. That time Karma Kanda had exceeded everything. For those times for people of those times, it was like, everything should be done. Action was more important than the faith behind the action, the logic and the intention behind the action. The action had become more important. And therefore, idol worship, etc. had also started without understanding the ideal behind it, without understanding the logical reasons, without understanding the devotion and love behind it. People had started doing it. So if he would have said yes, they would have gone and joined the other people in idol worship. If he would have said no, then it would have been against the truth. So he kept quiet. So when he kept quiet, the followers understood that Gautam Buddha is saying there is no God. See, that is how wrong notions have come into their pantha, their religion, you can say, their philosophy, you can say. And very interestingly, one of the major objections of Buddhist philosophy or Buddhist religion was that Hindu religion or the Astika Darshanas, they are focusing too much on Karma Kanda. They are focusing too much on worship of some form of the Lord. And therefore, when this other philosophy came of Buddhism, it was like a fresh air for many people, that you don't have to do that, and if you don't do, you will not be outcasted, etc. So many things he said. But very interestingly, the entire religion which was based on opposition to idol has now maximum idols. Today, the biggest idols in the world are of Gautam Buddha. Isn't it? How this happened? See, because human mind is still same. Mind needs support. There is one very interesting scene in one of the movies. The movie is called Oh My God. It's a very interesting kind of movie. One man, he has a shop of antique, objects and antique piece. And then in earthquake, his shop gets destroyed. So he puts a case against God that because of you, my thing is gone. And then very interestingly, there are so many things that happen, and then Shri Krishna comes in the form of a tenant in his house, and how he guides him, etc., etc. Very interesting movies there. In that one of the main conversations that this person is having with Bhagwan is that there should not be God. Why should there be God? Because of this presence of God, what has happened is there are so many people who are taking advantage of this situation, and they are making money out of it. They have made it a business, and they are running temples like this, they are running ashramas like this, they are doing like this. He asks a lot of questions. So there should not be any God. Why should there be God? So Shri Krishna actually shows him future, saying that suppose, let us say, whatever you are saying happens, and we remove all the concepts of God because you are telling, what will happen, and he shows the future, saying that if you say that there should be no God, then the person who is saying that will become God for people. People will start considering you as God. They will build your temples. Why? Because you told them that there is no God. See, it is now a very fascinating thing. I tell you, in Maharashtra also, we have this Santa Parampara, etc. And often what they do is, you see, people, they have their own intentions reading the literature of saints also. So there are many occasions where saints have said that Bhagavan is not in temple. Bhagavan is in everybody's heart. And you must have seen this kind of songs, very often in all parts of India. Now what they do is, cunningly, they take only the part of this song and say Bhagavan is not in temple. And they start their own sampradaya, their own pantha, etc. And interestingly, what they do is, they make temples of the saint who said so. But then you are doing the same thing. So actually speaking, if we see, human mind cannot remain without support. It always wants some support. So if you remove that support of God from them, they will make you God. Why? Because you will become support for them. That is human mind. Right? And therefore, what Gautam Buddha has done is a very interesting thing. He remained Mauni so that people will not go to this extreme or that extreme. His entire theory is based on middle path. If you get chance to study, then you see. He himself also in his life, he experienced this. That earlier he was in lavish, palace. He was a prince. And when he left, he suddenly started doing so hard tapasarya that he stopped eating everything. And then he understood that because of that, he is not able to do his tapasarya sadhana properly. So then he found the middle path, that not extreme. Indulge means don't go on indulging, and also restrain means don't completely restrain. Find a middle path. So this middle path is very interesting for this Gautam Buddha's philosophy. Anyway, Buddha is considered to be the 9th avatar according to this calculation. And then we saw Kalki Avatara will happen. Anathadina karane janmata hai. Kalanki pudhe deva honara hai. This Kalki is going to happen in future, in Kali Yuga itself. Taya varnita shinali vedavani nupekshikada deva bhakta vimani. Singing whose glories even Vedas have become tired. That Lord, who is so proud of his devotees, never forsakes his devotees. Now, when we have seen all these things, let us understand little bit more about this concept of Avatara. See, the word Avatara means to come down. Avatara. Another meaning of Avatara is to lift up. Means what? Bhagavan comes down to lift us up. And when we say that Bhagavan comes down, doesn't mean that he changes his nature and he becomes something else. No. The same Nirguna Nirakara Parabrahma starts to appear on the level of humans, where humans can see him. Drishti Gocharatvat. Because he becomes available for our perception, it is called as coming down. It is not that Bhagavan has left his... So many people had this kind of doubt also. When Sri Krishna Avatara was happening, Brahmaji got doubt once whether this is the same Lord or not. And we remember the story, no? Therefore, he took away all the Gopa balas and calves, etc. And looked down, everything was happening nicely. Then he understood, my God, with whom am I thinking? Sri Krishna is Bhagavan only. He has not come down like that. He has not given up his original nature. Indra also got this doubt. And therefore, Bhagavan, to teach him lesson, did that entire Govardhana Uddharana Leela. So we see so many people get this doubt. Avatara means not coming down in their nature, in his nature. He comes down and becomes available for perception of people. And that's why in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, this Avatara Rahasya is explained. He says, Ajopi san navvyatma, bhutanam ishwaropi san, prakritim swam adhishthaya, sambhavami atma mayaya. He says, Ajaha, though I am unborn, Avyatma, I am unchanging, that Brahman I am. Bhutanam Ishwaraha, from that Saguna Nirakara Rupa, I am that Ishwara, Lord of all beings. But Prakritim Swam Adhishthaya, taking charge of my own power of creation, Sambhavami, I take birth. Samyak Bhavami, I always am, but I have my special manifestation. Atma Maya, by my own power. So Bhagavan decides when Avatara should happen and how it should happen and where, when. Everything is decided by Bhagavan. Bhagavan's Avatara is not like our birth. Our birth is decided by our own prarabdha karma. We don't have choice. Once we have done the action, we will be forced to take birth. At that time, in that house, to those parents, in the way that we are supposed to. There is no freedom to us. Whereas for Bhagavan, there is no bondage. He decides when, how, why, in which house, everything he decides. Right? Now when Bhagavan takes avatar also, there are many types of avatar. Many types of avatars are there. I will just tell you few. Not few, many avatars I will tell you. Types. Guna Avatara, first kind is called as Guna Avatara. Guna Avatara of Lord is to take a particular guna and do particular job. Saguna Avatara. This is Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. This is Guna Avataras of that same Ishvara. So he takes up guna of creation and becomes Brahmaji. He takes up guna of sustenance and becomes Vishnu. He takes up guna of destruction and becomes Mahesha or Lord Shiva. This is called Guna Avatar. Second is called as Amsha Avatar. Amsha Avatar. So Amsha Avatar, one part of, not you can't say one part. For some time the Bhagavan's presence comes into some person. Parshurama is generally considered as Amsha Avatar. Then Kala Avatar. Kala Avatar means one facet of Bhagavan manifests. One facet manifests. Vamana Avatar is generally considered as Kala Avatar. Shodasha Kala Purusha, Bhagavan has 16 Kalas. One of those aspects manifests. Then is called as Avesha Avatar. In Avesha Avatar, Bhagavan takes some kind of form. Avesha comes. It is Narasimha, generally considered as Narasimha as Avesha Avatar. Then there is an avatar called as Jnana Avatar. For the sake of knowledge, to propagate knowledge, he takes a form. So we say Kapila Vasudeva, Kapila Muni or Veda Vyasa. These are the Jnana Avataras of Bhagavan Shri Vishnu. Then Vibhuti Avatar. Vibhuti Avatar is different Vibhutis, special manifestations of Lord which are explained in the 10th chapter. So Himalaya, Gangaji, isn't it? Sthavaranam Himalaya, Srotasamasmi Jannavi. All these are Vibhutis of the Lord. That is one avatar, Vibhuti Avatar. Then comes Purna Avatar. Purna Avatar means Bhagavan takes full life. is born, then he does all the leelas till giving up of body, so-called giving up of body. So generally Sri Krishna and Sri Rama are considered to be Purna Avataras. He has lived full life as Bhagavan only. That is seventh type. Then it is called Archa Avatar. Archa means for worship, Archana. So the Vigrahas, Murtis, etc. which are there in every temple, what we worship, that is called as Archa Avatar. Archa Avatar. Then Madanugraha Avatar, very special form of the Lord. Madanugraha, to bless me, specially individual, Bhagavan takes form. And that is the form of Guru. So my Guru is Bhagavan's Madanugraha Avatar. Why? For me. Specially for me he has taken form. And Bhagavan has promised that he will do that, right? In 10th chapter he has promised that he will do that. In order to remove darkness of ignorance from devotee's mind and in order to give the knowledge, I shall take form. He has said. And the last avatar, last type is called as Nitya Avatara. What is Nitya Avatara? The great saints, even all jivas, all of us are Nitya Avataras of Bhagavan. Why? Bhagavan himself is there. He is there in the heart of all the jivas. So like this, there are different kinds of avatars. We will often see that Mahavishnu's avatars are more famous than any other god. That is because that is his department. We must understand. Sustenance is his department. So when there is some problem in the world, he needs to take form and do it. That is his responsibility. Sometimes to help Bhagavan to do this, all the other devatas also will take forms, will take avatars. For example, we see in Sri Rama Avatara, all devatas have taken form. Brahmaji has become, Jambavan, and Lord Shiva has taken Amsha Avatara as Hanumanji. Like that, everybody, all the other devatas also will take forms to assist. Why? Bhagavan is doing it for us. We should also do something. That is why they also take. But major avatars we will see of Mahavishnu. Now, more important question. Why avatar? See, in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, I was telling you Avatara Rahasya is explained. Bhagavan Shri Krishna explains when avatara happens. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tada atmanam srujamyaham. Whenever there is a decline of dharma and overpowering of adharma, at all those times I come, I take avatar. Now mind you, when that Bhagavan decides, means when decline of dharma is happening and adharma is overpowering, that Bhagavan decides. We may feel already it is happening, but no, we have to understand from his level he will decide whether actually time has come or not for me to come there. Right? Now why avatara happens? Next verse itself he says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkratam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Sadhunam paritranaya. First thing he says is, in order to protect noble people. Vinashaya cha dushkritam, and then to destroy wicked people. Mainly for what? Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami. I come to re-establish righteousness, dharma. So the main purpose of Bhagavan's avatar is dharma samsthapana. How does he do dharma samsthapana? By protecting the noble people, by teaching a lesson to wicked people, etc. And there are many other purposes which are also there. To bless seekers, to meet Mahatmas. He comes to meet Mahatmas also. To fulfill the wish of totality. Another purpose. To show the path practically. Margadarshana. It's another purpose of the Lord. Then to protect devotees, we already saw in all these descriptions, to protect devotees. To teach the wicked people, sometimes to punish also, whatever is required. To remove sins. Just by looking at Bhagavan, our sins will be removed. That's why he comes. And then to give knowledge. Bhagavan as Sri Krishna has given knowledge of Gita. You see, as Sri Rama, he has given knowledge in so many, Purajana Gita, or you say, or Rama Gita. So many places he has given knowledge. Even of worldly matters. Kachit Sarga is there in Valmiki Ramayana, where he gives knowledge of how to rule, how a leader should be, how to organize, etc. So, for these different reasons, Bhagavan takes Avatara. Now, Samarth Ramdas Swami concludes this topic in the next verse, and let us see what he says. Verse number 126. He concludes this topic of Avatara and why Bhagavan takes these forms. Jana karane devalilavatari bahuta pariyadare veshadhari taya nenati te jana paparupi duratme mahanashta chandala papi. Jai Jai Raghuveer Samartha. He says, Jana karane deva leela avatari. For the sake of people, Bhagavan takes this avatar and does leela. See, if he would not have done that, whose stories we would have listened in childhood, you tell me. If not for Sri Rama, Sri Krishna, Narasimha, whose stories we would have listened? He does all these kinds of leelas so that it helps people. Bahuta pari, for the sake of his devotees, etc. To adare veshadari, he takes special forms. For each one of us, he takes the form of Guru, we have seen. If not for those avataras, we will never know that scriptures are telling the truth. We will never know what exactly to do. If not for Bhagavan coming and showing himself, how we would know? And therefore, he takes avatar. But even then there are people, Taya Nenati, even then people doubt him. They don't recognize him in that avatar. Te jana paparupi. Samarth Ramdas Swami says, those people who do not recognize Bhagavan in his avatars are paparupi. They are embodiment of sin. Duratme, wicked, mahanashta, cruel, chandala, heinous, lowly kind of people they are. Now, Bhagavan himself is taking form and then you are not recognizing him. We see example of Duryodhana. What a stupid fellow. Bhagavan Shri Krishna when went to Hastinapura as a messenger and when he put his points forward and said that, we should try all the means by which we can avoid this war. When he said all these things, that idiot Duryodhana thought that, this is a nice opportunity. Shri Krishna has come to our place. Let us, tie him up and keep him in prison. What a stupid fellow. Why? He did not recognize Bhagavan. He thought this is some boy, Shri Krishna, some person is there. And we know what happened then. When he tried to capture Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna showed him the entire Vishwarupa only there. He got so scared. Why? Hey, who do you think you are? There is one very beautiful poem in Hindi. I think Dinkar's poem is there. Dinkar was a very famous, Ramdhari Dinkar, very famous poet in Hindi, a recent poet. And he has written very beautiful poem on this episode of Bhagavan going there and then, Duryodhana, fool Duryodhana trying to capture. What? Stupid. Why? Even Bhagavan takes avatara, people don't recognize him. People have hatred. People find faults with even avataras. And interestingly, even for, avataras like Sri Rama also, which is most perfect, even with that avatara they find fault. Now what can you say? Why did Sri Rama kill Wali from behind? Why did Sri Rama leave Sita? All this nonsense. Paparupi. Such people are embodiments of sins, Samarth Ramdas Swami says. Bhagavan has taken avatar for us. Make the best use of that avatar. Use it to increase your devotion, intensify your devotion, and to have that kind of longing for Bhagavan. He is a living proof of the scriptures. We must use him for that. If we don't, then no greater fools than us. Right? That is what he says. So, concluding the topic that Bhagavan always protects his devotees, never forsakes, never gives them up, he concludes by saying why avatars happen and what all Dashavataras, that also he has explained. Now, the question is, Vedji, how to recognize these avatars? How to make sure that our love for them increases and we don't become part of those Mahapapi, Duratma, Nashta, Chandala people? How to make sure? Samarth Ramdas Swami says the best way is remain with Sajjana people. Remain in Satsanga. That way your mind will remain at same correct place. That's what now he is going to explain. Very beautiful verses. Start. Verse number 127. 127 to 134, this topic will be taken. Let us see. Jagi dhanyato rama sukhe nivala katha aikata sarvatalli na jala dehe bhavana rama bodhe udali mano vasana rama rupi budali. Jai Jai Raghuveer Samartha. Beautiful. He says, Jagi dhanyato. That person is blessed in the world. Who? Rama Sukhe Nivala. One who rests and revels in Sri Rama. Sri Rama word itself means one in whom people revel. Ram dhatu means to revel, to rejoice, to be happy. He says that person is blessed who revels in Rama. Katha aikata sarva tallina jhala. While listening to his songs, while listening to the song, not songs, katha, stories, while listening to his stories, he becomes tallina. Tallina word is very beautiful. Tat lina. Merges in that. Tat means that. Lina means to merge. Listening to his stories, listening to the stories of the Lord, he becomes one with that story. He becomes one with that Lord. He forgets everything. Katha ekata sarvatalli na jala. Dehe bhavana rama bodhe udali. Deha bhavana, identification with body, udali. Flew away. How? Rama bodhe. By knowing Sri Rama. How Vedji, what is the connection? When I realize that Bhagavan Sri Rama is my own self, Atma Rama, then I understand that I am that self and not the body. Samarth Ramdas Swami is now going to go towards pure Vedanta, okay? This is just beginning of it. So far, lot of devotion and sadachara, etc. he has spoken of. He will continue to speak about that also, but you will see now Vedanti in Samarth Ramdas Swami is coming out now. He is going to talk about absolute every topic of Vedanta, including Nirvikalpa Samadhi, etc. He will speak. We will see that. But now slowly he is now going towards that knowledge. Therefore he says, Dehe Bhavana Rama Bodhe Udali. The word Bodha he starts to use. You see? Realizing the nature of Sri Rama as my own self, for whom this Deha Bhavana identification with body has flown away. Mano Vasana Rama Rupi Budali. And Mano Vasana, the desires, temptations and impressions, vasanas of mind, Rama Rupi in the form of Lord, Budali, gets drowned. See, the words that Samarth Ramdas Swami is using are absolutely perfect there. One thing is this Niwala, Zala, Udali, Budali, there is a rhyming to it. That is one. But see what he says, Deha Bhavana Udali. Identification with body has gone away. And Mano Vasana Budali. It has not gone away, it has become one. Means what? Those negative tendencies and vasanas have changed, have become one with Sri Rama. Means what? Those negative tendencies, durvasanas, have become now sadvasanas. Vasana is like energy. It can neither be created nor can be destroyed. It can be changed from one form to another. This is an important topic. Why vasana cannot be created? Vasanas are there. They are beginningless. But I can change those vasanas. While saying, we may say, I have created one new vasana, I have given up the old vasana. But actually what is happening? You are changing your vasana. Earlier I used to like the world, now I like God. So in one way you can say, I have given up the vasana towards the world and I have taken up the vasana. No, actually what you have done, your liking for the world, you have shifted from the world to God. Durvasana has become sadvasana. You understand what? And that's why he uses the word Budali. To drown means what? It loses itself and becomes one. The example of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa of salt doll entering into ocean to measure the depth of the ocean. That comes. Well, you can say one way that salt doll is destroyed, but actually salt doll has become the entire ocean. So transformation has happened. Manovasana Ramarupi Budali. So what is he saying here? He says, blessed is that person who revels in Sri Rama, who loses himself or herself listening to the stories of Sri Rama, whose identification with body has gone away, and whose desires, impressions have transformed into Sri Rama. That person is blessed. Jagi Dhanyato. That person is blessed. Now what? Now he says this to mind. What? Since, O my mind, that person is blessed, become that person. That's what he says in the next verse. Let us see verse 128. Mana vasana vasudevi vasode, mana kamana kamasangi na sode, mana kalpana vaugite na kije, mana sajjana sajjani vasti kije. Jai Jai Raghuvir Samartha. What a beautiful verse. Mana vasana vasudevi vasode. He has used all the important points of vasana. Vasana word has got many meanings. Earlier also I think I must have explained. One meaning of how the word is formed, vasana, is that which stays. That which comes and stays. Means it becomes your habit. So vasa, nivasa. It's one meaning. Another meaning of vasa means sugandha, smell. In the meaning of impression. Experience has gone away, but the impression, the smell has left. Now he uses both these meanings and he says, oh my mind, what you should do is have this vasana stay in Vasudeva. You see the usage of word also. Name of the Lord used here is Vasudeva. There is one very interesting verse on Vasudeva. It says, Vasanat Vasudevasya Vasitam Bhuvanatrayam Sarvabhuta Nivasosi Vasudeva Namostute. Vasanat Vasudevasya. Because of existence of Vasudeva, Vasitam Bhuvanatrayam, all the three worlds exist. Sarva Bhuta Nivasaha Asi, one who stays in all beings. Hey Vasudeva, O Lord Vasudeva, Namostute, may there be prostrations unto you. Vasanat Vasudevasya Vasitam Bhuvanatrayam Sarva Bhuta Nivasosi Vasudeva Namostute. So Samarth Ramdas Swami says here, O my mind, have your vasanas, make them stay in Vasudeva. Mana vasana Vasudevi Vasode. Vasode means let it stay. Let them stay there. Let those vasanas remain in Vasudeva. Means what? Let vasanas get transformed. That's what it means. What was explained previously, no? Mano vasana Ramarupi Budali. That same point. Mana vasana Vasudevi Vasode. Now, if you want to keep these vasanas in Vasudeva, Mana Kamana Kamasangi Nasode. Then those kamanas, those desires should not be there in the worldly objects. Mana, kamana, desire, kamasangi, in the association, indulgence of the worldly objects, so they let them not be there. Let your desires not be there in the world of objects, let them stay in Bhagavan. What beautiful verses you see. Mana vasana Vasudevi Vasode. Mana kamana kamasangi nasode. Mana kalpana vahugi te na kije. Mind, kalpana vahugi. Kalpana means imagination, thinking, wishful thinking. Vahugi, which is wrong. Wrong thinking na kije. Do not have. Then what? Mana sajjana sajjani vasti kije. Oh my sajjana mind. You are a very wise mind. What you should do is, you should stay in the company of wise. Sajjani, in the company of wise, vasti kije, you stay. So, have your desires taken away from the world of objects and let them rest in Bhagavan. Make sure that you are not thinking wrong things. Make sure that you also stay in Satsanga. Why? Why should I remain in Satsanga? Because they will keep you on track. That's what he explains in the next verse. Why Satsanga? Verse 129. Gati karane sangati sajjanachi mati palate sumati durjanachi rati naikecha pati nashta ahe म्हणोनी मनातीत होवो निराहे. जय जय रघुवीर समर्थ. ब्यूटिफुल. गती कारणे संगती सज्जनाची. सज्जनाची संगती, company of noble people, is for what? Gati karane. For your progress on the spiritual path. Main thing that happens by remaining in satsanga is, if you are not on spiritual path, you start walking on spiritual path. But technically speaking, there is nobody who is not on spiritual path. They are on the same path, maybe going in wrong direction, but they are on the same road. We don't have to worry. All are walking towards Bhagavan only. Maybe through some other direction, etc., but they are there. In satsanga, what happens? You start progressing on that spiritual path. Gati karane. That's the purpose. Durjanachi mati palate. Sumati. What happens is, mati palate. Your mind or your entire attitude, intention, everything will change. Thinking will change. Mati palate. And durjanachi sumati. If you are a wicked person, you will become a noble person. That is what will happen by satsanga. So you will start progressing on spiritual path. your thinking will start to change. And you see, nobody else has to tell you all these things. You yourself will start to recognize that, I never used to think like this before. Now my thinking has changed. Something has happened. Either we are in company of good people, good books, good thoughts, something has happened. Your thinking will start to change. And if bad thoughts, wicked tendencies, etc. are there, they will also start to change. Virtues will start to come. Vices will be removed. Shivanandaji Maharaj has written a very beautiful book. Shivanandaji Maharaj, Gurudev's Guru, Diksha Guru. He has written this to inculcate virtues and eradicate vices, or to eradicate vices and inculcate virtues, something like that. He has written a book. How to do that. And one of the main ways you can do it is remain in satsanga. That is why satsanga. And he warns. What is the warning now? Rati nayikecha pati nashta ahe. Pati means husband. Husband of whom? Rati Devi. Nayika, he is calling her actress, heroine. That Rati's husband, Nashta, is very dangerous. Who is husband of Rati? Kamadeva. Kamadeva is the husband of Rati. Rati Devi's husband is Kamadeva. He says he is Nashta. He is a very dushta, very wicked fellow. How he will capture you and catch you, you will not even understand. Therefore, remaining in satsang, what is the final goal that needs to be achieved? Manoni, therefore, manatit hovo nirahe. You should remain by transcending the mind. Mana atit. One way to understand is, O mind, transcend the mind. The instruction is given to the mind only to transcend itself. Another thing is, individual, remember that you have to transcend the mind. Why? Because till the time you don't transcend the mind, Kamadeva may catch you at any point of time. Don't think that I have done a lot of sadhana, now I am in charge. No. You are, till the time mind is totally, transcended, we are not under control. Okay? Train, transform, transcend. That's what we have to do with mind. Teach also. First teach, then train, then transform, then transcend. That's what we have to do with mind. And till the time that last step we have achieved, don't have faith that I have now got it. No. This very dangerous fellow is there. Kama, no. See, Kama, that's why Bhagavan Shri Krishna also in Bhagavad Gita says, they are like highway robbers. At any point of time, they will loot you and they will take you away from your path. You will not even know. Tauhi asya paripanthino, ragadvesha, which becomes Kamadeva. You will never know. So, mind, what? Remain in satsanga so that you walk the path of spirituality, you progress on that path, you change your thinking, and even the wicked thoughts, etc., change to become good thoughts. And do not believe that you have got it unless you transform yourself. Unless the mind is transformed, don't believe that you have got it. That is that he says. Now, the warning continues. What? Verse number 130. Mana alpa sankalpato hi nasava sada satya sankalpa chitti vasava jani jalpa vikalpato hi tyajava ramakanta ekanta kali bhajava. Jai Jai Raghuveer Samartha. Mana, O mind, alpa sankalpa tohi nasava. even little bit of wishful thinking, imagination, extrovertedness should not be there. Even little bit of. In Viveka Chudamani, we see Bhagavan Shankaracharya Bhashyakara explaining this point elaborately. After explaining the entire path, he tells how finally the ego also needs to be destroyed. And he says, even after destroying the ego, don't allow mind to become extrovert. Why? Because like a serpent, that ego will again bring back its hood. You remember all those verses which Vivek Chudamani, those who have studied? There he says, you have done everything that is required, you have destroyed ego also, even then, don't allow mind to go out. One thought, that's it. Pramado vai mrityu. He says one thought, one inadvertent thought. And he gives example of, it is like a ball falling down on stairs. He says ball, how it falls down from stairs, first it will fall on the first step. Then it will skip the 2 steps and fall down on the 4th. Then it will skip 10 and then fall. How exponentially it will go, you will not know. Like that, mind will start with one thought. You can catch it. Another thought, that's it. Third thought, it is gone beyond now. It has gone and become extrovert. Mana alpa sankalpa tohi nasava. Sada satya sankalpa chitti vasava. Make sure that always, sada means always, satya sankalpa, good thoughts are staying in your mind. Don't allow even a single negative thought. And here negative thought means not adharma, etc. Any thought of the world is negative thought. In the path of spirituality, any thought of the world is a negative thought. Jani jalpa vikalpa tohi tyajava. Jani, in people, with people, jalpa, vikalpa, all these kind of things which were there, no, disputes and arguments, tyajava, give up. Why? That will again give rise to some negativity in you. So give up all those kind of disputes, arguments, and then what? Ramakanta ekanta kali bhajava. Ramakanta, Kanta means husband. Husband of Rama. Rama is name of Mahalakshmi. So Ramakanta, husband of Sri Mahalakshmi. Who is that? That is Bhagavan Vishnu. Ekanta kali bhajava. Should worship in solitude. Now little bit more we should think about this. What all he is saying? He is saying be careful and do not allow even a single extroverted thought. Make sure that you are always in good thoughts. Good thoughts means thoughts that flow towards God. Do not get involved in any kind of dispute, arguments, etc. It will make your mind extrovert. And then last point it says is, in solitude, worship Sri Mahavishnu, worship the Lord. There are 2 things that we need to understand in this. Number 1, ekanta. We must enjoy solitude. We must enjoy solitude. When we are alone, what do you mean by we are alone? Actually, we are alone means we are only with God. That is called as alone. Nobody else is there. Just me and my God. That's it. Learn to enjoy that. And take out time, solitude time, to worship the Lord. That's one way to look at that last phrase. Second way to look at the phrase is, whenever you want to do sadhana, do it in solitude. Do not show it off. If you want to do japa, alone in your room in corner when nobody is seeing, that time you do it. Not when everybody is seeing you sit with japamala and you do japa. Why? Everybody is there. No. They should know that this is. Sadhana is not meant for that. You see, how can I say? See, beauty of anything is not recognizing that thing. Light is perfect when we don't recognize that light. If our focus goes on light, means there is something wrong with that light. Either light is too dark or it is too less. Then our attention will go to light. If light is perfect, we will not even notice that there is light. They say about acting also. If you can see the acting, then the acting is bad. If you don't see the acting, then it is perfect. In the same way, sadhana should be such that nobody should see your sadhana. That is how it should be. If they start to see, means there is something wrong. With saints, with Mahatmas, with realized people, etc., if you get a chance to see how they are, they will be with you on your level, as though they are also going through same problems like you. Like that they will be. You will not even understand how much sadhana that person has done. Not even recognize them. That is how it should be. So, Rama Kanta Ekanta Kali Bhajava. That is what we should do. All right. Let us conclude with his remembrance. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hari, 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 Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hari. Pandarinath Maharaj ki jai, Siyavar Ramachandra ki jai, Radhavar Krishna Chandra ki jai, Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.